if we are, oh yeah, here we go. Happy Saturday, everybody. Look at you know, it's looking kind of red, not gonna lie. But we have talked about this. It's to be expected. We discussed that we're still trading within our channel. We are being wedged down a little bit, and this could mean that we're coming for a downtrend pretty soon. And again, you know, it wouldn't be out of the question for us to test down below into sub 30,000, right? So it's not out of the question how long that would be. I have no idea. But most likely we will just trade in this channel that we've talked about before until crypto finally picks up. The big thing to understand too about what's going on with crypto is all of this was basically manufactured from, you know, media, news, and everything else. And I think to turn the trend, we'll eventually need the equal amount of news in the positive direction moving over. How's it going, Oliver? How's your weekend so far? So I think eventually we will see the uptrend going up in terms of Bitcoin and crypto. But again, I think we need to be a little bit bearish until we can see that 42,000 broken, and then again 52,000. But you know, this is crypto. This is what it's going to be. You're going to have your ups and your downs. So hopefully we won't be down here too long. But you know, it is realistic that we do see the market extend into 2022, right? So just depends on how much longer we trade under this level. And again, if you look at the 200 day, we're still, oh, hold on, I'm on the 4 hour. We're still sub the 200 day right now. So we're fighting for it. But yeah, we could be fighting for it for a while, unfortunately. So it could be months for now. That's what I'm thinking. I know that's not a popular opinion. A lot of people wanted it to just V-shape, even like the last live stream last weekend. People are like, oh, how do you know that it's not going to just go up? I mean, I really don't. That's the reality. But at the same time, you got to think about trends. You got to think about what lines of support were broken. We broke, you know, a pretty high level of support at 52,000, and then broke all the way down, shot below 42,000. We kind of held for a couple of days at the 42. Like if you look at that big drop, we'll just get in here. We kind of held there for a little bit, right? For a couple of days, we fought with it, but we gave in pretty quick and we dropped right down. So we're in this channel, and you can't really have like a fully bullish outlook until we're outside of that channel. So until we're above 42,000 Bitcoin, that's generally what I'm thinking here. So, but overall, the crypto market is bleeding a little bit. We're at $1.47 trillion right now. Altcoin market cap is at 224 billion. Cardano still kind of holding strong at around our support line that we've discussed. So Cardano is still sitting around the $1.50, a little bit sub right now because Bitcoin's pretty low. And again, we could see Cardano kind of wick down probably into the lower opportunities. But again, that's all a buying opportunity for Cardano because we know that Cardano is going to rebound pretty well. It's done pretty well over the last little while. So I wouldn't be overly concerned about where Cardano is going to go. Yeah. Twitter's a bit of a cesspool, man. Unfortunately, crypto Twitter tends to be really helpful to get certain pieces of information. But yeah, I don't blame you. It's a toxic place, that's for sure. Okay, let's see. So Bitcoin's obviously pretty low, 34,600. BNB 315 right now. Yeah, there's a lot of downturn in this market, and again, we can still go lower, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility for us to still fight with the lower levels, especially right now, right? You gotta look at everything as a cycle, right? So everything is a constant cycle, ebbs and flows, goes up and down, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down. But within each cycle is a cycle. So if we go to our 4 hour chart, right, we see the same thing, up, down, up, down, up, down. But overall, they're making a common trend. And again, you go into the hour chart, you see the exact same thing, right? You're constantly getting ups and downs, ebbs and flows, ebbs and flows. And you know, that's a trend that you're going to have to follow. This is how people swing trade. They trade on the trends, whether it be 4 hour, hourly, whatever. Some people even do like 15 minutes. But if you look at the 15 minutes, even when you go down here every 15 minutes, it's the same thing. You're getting the trends, ups, downs, ups, downs. You can do simple things like following like Bollinger Bands to predict that trend. To get a better idea of like if it's going to go up and down in the media, if you're doing something like trading. But the whole purpose of me like showing you this, going down, you know, into the smaller time frames, is when you look at it at a macro level, it's important for you to understand that everything's going to go through ebbs and flows, ups and downs. So we can't always go up, right? So if you look at even the market cycles, because you can zoom it out to the market cycles, it's the same thing, ebbs and flows, ups and downs, right? So this is how it works from the 1 minute, maybe even to the 1 second, whatever bar you're looking at, it's the exact same premise. So you got to keep that in mind. When we're going down and when we're following a trend downwards, we're most likely going to continue down, especially if we're not beating some critical lines, right? So we can't really expect a quick little breakout here. More so what we would like to see, and this is bullish. Keep in mind, like it might sound all bearish, but you know, Bitcoin trading at this level is perfectly fine. Because if we trade around here for a little while until we finally make up ground, that's way more support for Bitcoin. We saw it with Cardano, ADA, and now ADA held. So it's a good idea to take a step back and recognize, okay, things are going to go down. They're not always going to go up, but eventually they will regain and we will go up again. So I wouldn't stress too much. What do I think Bitcoin will hit? Yeah, I think that's possible. So I think anywhere between the 27,000 and the 30,000 zone at this point is very possible for Bitcoin. So right around here. Good morning, Gary. How's it going, buddy? But yeah, I would probably say around this zone is probably like the deepest that I would see Bitcoin maybe get to. I can't see Bitcoin going any further than that, to be honest. Again, I'm not saying that the market cycle's over. We're still in a market cycle here. We're still going to go through a market peak of some kind. When it is, that's a whole different deal, right? It doesn't have to be by the end of 2021 to happen. We can trade in a bear trend for a little while until picking it back up. And most likely that would be good because we know a lot of projects have stalled out. They're delaying updates and everything else. So hey, maybe a summer lull is just fine. Maybe we don't have to stress about crypto and we can actually take vacations. We can sleep for a little bit. So it's not all bad, guys, but if we delay this bull market until 2022, that would be nice. I think that would be ideal. Hopefully we do that. I talked in my last video why I don't think that this is the market peak. I don't know. There's not enough saying that it's the market peak. Pool. So I do both, Gary. So what you can do when you're farming, you're using the impermanent loss, what we talked about before. So I'll go over to that right now. We're actually going to be doing some betting on Pancake Swap. I won 0.1 BNB last night doing it just to prep for this. So I'm going to bet with that 0.1 so I'm not losing any of my BNB. I'm going to teach you guys some basic TA, and then I'm going to give away whatever the winnings are to someone in the chat. We'll do a random number generator and a spreadsheet and everything, so stick around for that. But when you have your farms, you're staking both Cake and BNB or whatever sub token you're staking. But you also have this thing called impermanent loss. So for this example, if my Cake goes up and my BNB goes down, I'll end up with more BNB because my LP tokens are always trying to keep a 1-to-1 of both tokens in terms of value. So that's how it works. So I would stay away from impermanent loss when you're doing a USD crypto pair, but I'm perfectly fine with doing a crypto impermanent loss pair. Morning, Redbeard. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, I found that most people are just, they're all emotional, Othman. It's all emotions, right? You can see it in everyone. Everyone gets super scared, super FUD, and yeah, start just talking about, crap, especially on Twitter. Twitter's garbage. What do I think the ETH low is? Oh, that's okay. This is a hard one to say because I think a lot of the narrative is attacking Bitcoin. And I've heard a couple of people say that we could see a flippening, and I'm kind of on the boat. Like at this point, I'm not somebody that says Bitcoin needs to be number one at all times. Will Bitcoin be number one in this market cycle? My money is yes, it most likely will. But realistically, Ethereum only has to do not a lot to actually flip it. If you think about it, if you think about how much money is in Ethereum, and also Ethereum's held a good amount of wealth or value, I should say, even amongst the Bitcoin downturn. So that's hard to say. I think my line of support here going down to 1360 is maybe the lowest we will see a wick, right? So maybe we'll see one of these wicks go down and touch it. That's probably a great buying opportunity, but eventually Ethereum's going to go back up. It's the internet of value. It's smart contracts. I think it's going to be the new gateway into cryptocurrency eventually. Bitcoin's always going to be the best elegant store of value. And it is what it is. But there are better cryptos out there, especially when you have smart contracts and everything else. Bitcoin's not going to have smart contracts. Morning Paper, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, it's everyone's. And I get it. I get it when people have like a lot of money in this space, and that's when it gets scary. And granted, I have 90, maybe 95, 96% of my actual like savings in crypto right now. But I sleep just fine, man. I know where we're going. Yeah, people are just selling. Well, even down here, man. When all this happened, miners sold here, right? Miners that have been holding this whole time at 60, 70K, they've been holding their bags. They got scared and sold there, right? That shakeout was crazy, but all it was to get big money in. Goldman Sachs, all these big firms that wanted a lower Bitcoin price, they got it. And it was their FUD that's going to keep us down trading in this zone for a little while. And, eventually maybe Cardano getting Alonzo and ETH 2.0 coming out and all of these big updates that are coming to the system, maybe that's what jumpstarts our bull market again, right? So it could be a narrative-driven bull market again. So, again, we're still in the market cycle. I don't think it's over. We can probably expect it to just be a little bit longer than normal. Oh yeah, is it Bitcoin is having smart contracts, or is it wrapped Bitcoin, right? So if it's Ethereum wrapped Bitcoin, that's kind of different, but I'll look into that. You can if you DM me on Twitter a link, that'd be super dope, so I don't have to search it up. What's going on, Nexo? How's it going, man? Let's go to Pancake, because I was playing around with this, and I think this is going to be useful to what I was talking about in terms of ebbs and flows, markets going up and down. We're going to talk about like basic TA, some basic stuff that you can do if you want to trade or just like play around. Now, I don't recommend trading, especially not for anyone that with like a gambling addiction or anything like that. But the reason why I do this is mainly to get more in tune with how the market moves. I find trading, especially leverage trading, to be a very useful tool, especially when you know what you're doing. I would always stress caution, right? I'm not telling anyone to trade. I would, however, if you guys are interested, I would do a trading series. You can see me get wrecked. You can see me whatever. I'm a very new trader, but I wouldn't be trading with much, maybe a couple $100, and we build from there. But I'm going to show you how Pancake's prediction market works. And I'm going to be talking about why I'm so bullish, not just on this prediction market, but on like DeFi platforms like this in general, because they're going to rake in so much money for the users and for the systems. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some bets. I'm going to talk about my rationale of why I'm going to make certain bets. And how this works is you essentially bet whether or not the price is going to go up or down in the next 5-minute candle. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, if you can find it, if it is wrapped, then we'll do that. Am I only pooling cake? So I have only cake pooled, but you can pool cake for whatever you want. I think like fine token and a bunch of other things. Yeah. Right now, I would say shorting the market is probably a good idea because of the bearish trend, right? Everyone's saying, okay, well, like it's time to be, or everyone wants to be bullish, but really it's time to be a little bit bearish. So the shorts are going to win, and there's a lot of shorting pressure. So Okay, so what we're looking at, we have two main indicators here. We have the RSI, and then we have the Bollinger Bands. The one big indicator is probably going to be the Bollinger Bands. The best way to make a quick trade like this in the 5-minute chart is to look at where the candle is on the Bollinger Band. And if it's at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, it usually will go up. Now, right now, we're kind of going through a little bit of a bearish trend, so I'm going to wait to see what this candle does before I enter a position, so I'm not going to enter the next one. But we do also see that the RSI is down below, but we know that it can go further down. So I want to see if this trend is going to pull BNB down a little bit further. We're going to make little bets, and just to reiterate, after we're done betting, and you can see we're going up here, so again, our strategy, bet on the Bollinger Band. But I will be giving away any of the winnings from this, and we'll answer questions while we make these bets. But I'm excited because of where this is all going to go in terms of decentralized exchange platforms, how Pancake Swap works in general. I think this is going to be the future, not just with Pancake Swap. I see Pancake Swap as a bridge, a what's to come for the next little while. But really, when you look at platforms like this, they're really easy to use. You can stake your pools or stake your farms. You can have your cake in your pools. You can auto earn your APY. You can go to your home. You can harvest your earnings. You can reinvest your earnings. Whatever you want to do. And then they have the predictions, which is essentially just a trading platform, right? So, come on. I need my chart. Oh, there we go. So again, we are using two indicators, the Bollinger Bands and the RSI. If you have any questions, just let me know. And obviously, too, when you're talking about something like this, you wanna be careful because Bitcoin is going down, right? So it's going to be hard to jump into certain things because Bitcoin is going to drive the market. So you always got to be careful when you're doing anything with altcoins. You have to watch what Bitcoin's doing. You know what? It really doesn't, right? So I think Bollinger Band statistically is only about 60% accurate. But when you're making small bets, 60% is a pretty good percentage. Like if you look back at the Bollinger Band, right? We hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band here. We went in on an uptrend. Same thing with down here. We hit it, went on an uptrend. Hit it at the top, went on a downtrend, right? This one is probably the best representation of what you were saying, right? How do you not get wrecked by the Bollinger Bands? And when it's doing something like this and you're getting multiple candle hits on the Bollinger Band, yeah, I'd just stop trading it. You'd wait for it to go down. Most likely Bitcoin was going down in that section anyway. And then eventually it'll pick back up and then go through its trend again. So it just depends on what's happening, right? If it's going down like this, multiple candles, you probably want to get out of it, but it's not completely accurate, right? You always gotta watch what you're doing. So let's just take a look at what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin is down. We're gonna look at let's look at the 1 hour, just so we get a good idea. So Bitcoin's driving basically everything down. BNB is low. So we could probably assume that the trend is going to go down, but I'm going to wait here because if we go on another, so if we go on another down candle, so we might end up keep going down. So we might not even get in a bet just yet. I'd probably wait until I see the trend reverse because I don't know what it's going to do. If I get in and say down, the very next candle, it could shoot back up because it's at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. I'd be betting against exactly what I just said, which means I'd have a 30% chance of being wrong, right? So we'll wait to get in one. Okay, apparently my phone's going off. So in terms of, it's hard to, I look at it in terms of to see what altcoins are going to do, right? It doesn't have any impact of anything about Bitcoin at all. Just basically what altcoins are going to do, right? So I see it at 41. It's up, which just means that the market's being pulled down further with Bitcoin. You know, yeah. But it's not the most important metric to me. In general, I would like to see, ultimately, I'd like to see the Bitcoin dominance go down. I'd love to see a flippening happen. I'd love to see either Ethereum or some other smart contract blockchain take over Bitcoin. But you know, 270 billion compared to 650 billion. That's actually not a big gap. That's a pretty small gap to close, right? So. But once upon a time, Bitcoin was at a $1 trillion market cap, right? So it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, with so it's I don't know what that service is, but that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what Pancake's prediction market is. So it's basically just betting whether or not it's going to go up and down. It's not really trading in a way, right? Like I will trade on Binance and I'll trade leverage. But I would say that's a completely different thing because more so I'm looking at the price, but I haven't traded much at all lately. I usually stay away from like moves like this. Like once it started to like continue a downtrend, I was like, yeah, I'm out of here for a little bit. I'm gonna wait, take my money and run. So that's basically what I did. Hold on, we'll look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is sitting currently at 34,120, and Bitcoin's basically taking the market. Okay, well, here's my rationale for doing what I'm about to do. We're gonna enter one because I want to see us enter one, and Bitcoin is now I don't know because I was about to enter it. Yeah, okay, Bitcoin's rebounding. We could possibly get another green. So let's take a bet on the Bollinger Band. We're gonna do just a small one. Yeah, okay, that works. So what we're doing is we're entering a position that this bar is going to go up after this candle close. So we have another couple minutes here before candle close. So 2 minutes and 26 seconds, 25 seconds. And we're basically going to judge, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Just so you guys can see, here's my P&L. Last night, I went ahead and just won 0.1 to do this here on stream. So we're going to use all this 0.1, approximately $31 that I made last night. We're going to win whatever we win, and then we will give it away to the viewers here. So stick around for that. We'll do a random number generator, put everyone's name in it and everything like that. The only reason I'm showing you guys this, not really to get you involved. It's good to understand like how charts are going to move, especially in like the small level, because then you get a bigger picture idea of how it works in the big level, because we talked about how, you know, crypto markets ebb and flow, the constant up and down, right? So it's a good idea to get used to just looking at charts. And if you need to do something like this, I mean, you know, if you take this strategy, 60% of the time, you're probably going to be correct. You can see here that we talked about our bottom of the RSI, right? That means that we're oversold and we want to pump up. So if we're at the bottom or we're at the top, it's a good time to enter the trade. And if we're at the bottom or at the top of the Bollinger Bands, it's also a good time to make a trade. You're probably going to be at a good point if you're making your trade at that area. So yeah, it's good odds. That's all it is. Yeah, I mean, I think you can see a lot of my history here. We'll take a look at some of my rounds. So I started with little amounts, 0.018 BNB, 0.021 BNB. I made a couple of big ones when I was sure of where the chart was going to move. So won a little bit more. Same with here. And then I lost a few. Some of these losses were just, you know, you lose some when you're not so confident, but you can see that my bets were lower because I wasn't so confident in the charts. So I was making lower bets, but you can see here this higher bet, I was more confident in where we were, right? So if you're less confident, and typically I'm less confident when we're more trading in the middle, and that's what happened to me last night. When I was trading, I started trading in the middle of everything. It was in the middle of the RSI and everything, so it was just hard to hard to determine exactly what it was going to do, and we lost a couple of trades. And then again, picked up a trade that we were more or less pretty confident in. So. Yeah, you have to pay a fee. It's like a couple of maybe like 5 cents, I think. I don't know what the actual fee is right now, but yes, you would have to pay a fee, the gas fee. So we're currently in this. We're looking for the candle to go up, right? Yeah, no, yeah, we are in this. So our entry price is 309.88, and we're currently up right now, 309.90. We just started our new candle here, so we're going to 310. Hopefully we can maintain the uptrend, but we'll see. We're looking like Bitcoin's bringing us down a little bit, so we might end up burning, but we will take it as it comes. We could always. I was thinking of doing a trading series where like I'm actually like swing trading cryptocurrencies. That's a little bit different. It's not so much leverage or anything like that. So that's always a possibility to do if there's interest. I don't know how much interest people have in something like that. I also don't want to encourage a lot of trading. It's not really like what the channel is for, right? I'm more of a hodler, if anything. So. I'm hoping that the Bitcoin trend picks up because I think Bitcoin is driving us a little bit. We'll switch to 5 minutes just so we can see what Bitcoin's doing. So Bitcoin's doing okay. We're dropping a little bit, but hopefully we can pick back up our 80 cents within the next 3 minutes. Exactly as predicted. That's right. Here we are, boys. We're all millionaires. Yeah, anytime that you're looking at even trading, right? And this is why trading altcoins is kind of hard when you're looking at what Bitcoin's doing. But really, I think this move is just a further downtrend. So this kind of candle faked me out a little bit, thinking that we were going to switch up, but we could go further down. So we might hold tight and see how the next couple of candles go before we get into another one. Yeah, a lot of people had a weird, like, super bullish sentiment about Bitcoin getting to like 300,000 really quick, and I don't know. Morning, Jay Youngman, how's it going, buddy? Oh yeah. So is that Nespresso? Yeah, I've never actually tried the brand. Like all I've been buying right now is like Starbucks. And what else? There's another Muskoka company, Muskoka, Ontario. They do a great like up north dark roast, really really good stuff, and a nice light roast that I often buy, but I'm all out of them unfortunately. Next year, February, I think we could see an uptrend. Like I'm saying, if we go through a downtrend, right? If crypto keeps, oh yeah, here's Bitcoin dropping down. So this is our 5 minute. So we're probably gonna get screwed out of that trade. But if we look at crypto, hold on, let me 4 hour. Thank you. If we look at Bitcoin, right, and then look at where February is. Actually, no, I want day. All right. So realistically, could we trade, right, from this point? Here, we'll even get our box here. And where's February? Could we trade in our box for this time, right? That's basically the question. That's basically what we're asking. And the box is gone. Let's get one that won't disappear. Good enough. So, Can we trade in this zone for an extended period of time before we pick up the bull market? I would say yes. I would say absolutely, right? Could we at that point finally pick it up, right? So if we trade in this zone until there's finally a bullish sentiment and then go up, right? We could see us break above the 42,000 and then break into another bull market coming into 2020 or 2022. I often say 2020 when I'm trying to say 2022. God damn it. But yeah, that's a very possible move that we could see Bitcoin doing, right? So I don't think that's out of the cards at all. And that works in terms of like our lengthening market cycle. Like if we look at how the crypto market would look entirely and then go through a kind of market peak, maybe more of a standard market peak, right? To me, that kind of fits, right? If we go to the week, something like that kind of fits the trend a little bit more to me, right? Bitcoin seems pretty pumped, and I would say it's really high up, like so far so, because of what the media was doing, because of how many people were pumping FOMO into everybody. Buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, even at 60, 70K. And of course, Bitcoin is cheap at that price, right? But realistically, it is likely that we can trade in this kind of bearish zone here for a little bit, for a couple of months before we break out. And that's not a bad thing at all. So yeah, I'd absolutely keep holding. Any of these flash loan attacks are happening on the BNC? I'm not sure if I've heard any, so I don't know. I'd probably have to look into that. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, it's going to go back up. Absolutely. You just have to look at this as a big buying opportunity, right? You don't look at this as a time to sell, right? You buy high or buy low, sell high, right? The whole point here is to make money. So you don't want to do something like that. I did want to show you guys because we took out a loan on Celsius, and I want to show you guys where it's at right now. So we took out a $2,400 loan with a little bit of Bitcoin, and normally, if you have a loan like that, you might have to post collateral if Bitcoin drops. We are safe, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. All right, yeah, okay. We are safe, and we don't have a margin call until 21,364. So once Bitcoin hits that price, and we'll get liquidated at 17,358. So obviously, I would put more Bitcoin in and would not do that. I think Celsius themselves have only liquidated 14 loan holders. I could be wrong in that number, but it's something incredibly low. Everyone else that we're able to work with and able to post more collateral. I buy Bitcoin daily right now. It's DCA with ShakePay every single day. I also shake my ShakePay every day, stacking sats. So it is what it is, right? So we did enter. We did lose that bet here. We're probably going to wait to get into another one until we see an uptrend, because right now we're just going on a continuous downtrend, and I wouldn't trust the Bollinger Band at this point. So we'll come back to this. If we can't make any bets, I'll give away the rest of the 0.1 that I won last night. So I will give away something. So it's $25, but hopefully we can make some trades. Hopefully we get a trend reversal, or we can go down. Maybe we go down. Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's make a bet for down. That's probably a better idea. Okay. There's a lot out. I would just encourage you to use as many as possible, right? Bullish on Litecoin and VET. I'm really bullish on VET. Not so much Litecoin personally, but it is what it is. I think it's still gonna go. I think we need to be cautious when we say I don't think we'll never see that price again, because I think saying that basically makes it that, hey, we might see that price again. But realistically, I think if we do see that price, I think you're right. But if we do see that price, it's going to be like a wick, right? it's going to be like one of these wicked things where we have a bunch of institutions just dumping on the community to scare us all out and shake us out and get a better view. Sucks on mobile. Yeah, I don't have like a good like chart program on mobile. But like I don't know. My eyes are bad, so I need a big screen anyway. Yeah, do as he says. Buy high, sell low, guys. Yeah, but it's like this. You've heard actually some discussions of Wyckoff, and I've been reading a lot about the Wyckoff trading method, and I don't know enough to like totally say that this is Wyckoff or not. I know enough of what Wyckoff is. It's the pattern, the trading pattern that institutions use to basically manipulate the market, whether it's going up or down. And, you know, if you look at how Bitcoin moved here, right, this whole upswing from the point that it broke out in October, right, breaking that line, breaking above. And if you look back, actually, let's take a ride back here while we wait for the trend to change. If you look back at where Bitcoin pumped, right, this is the start. So when Bitcoin crossed this line, crossed into $12,000, that's when the trend just went bullish. From there, it didn't see any like stop, any massive retracement, nothing for at least a couple of months until around February and January. And then it dropped a little bit, right? It went down to 30K, went down to 28K. We saw some pretty gruesome levels at this point. But at that point, we had only lost maybe like a couple of weeks, right? We didn't even lose that much. And then we continued going up and then eventually traded sideways. This was driven by a narrative, by news media and everyone else driving the price of Bitcoin to go higher and higher and higher at an incredible rate. And then we see a trading level until finally the buyer demand is gone, right? We don't want to buy at this level anymore. The buyer demand is diminished. And then they sell on the community and dump the price down. And then they buy in at a lower price before the market goes back up. And that is essentially what I understand about Wyckoff and how the market can be manipulated. If you think, oh, well, how could a few institutions manipulate this market cap? It's $1.4 trillion. Each of these institutions are worth maybe half of that. So, yeah, that's very realistic to see something like that. Yeah, I it could be, you know, EXO, this could be the market peak. So we discussed that as well in the last video, actually. If this is the market peak and we go through a 4-year bear market, right? But if we do that, I don't think this is our bottom. Because if you look at this drop here, this drop is 51%, pretty gruesome drop. But if you look at this drop, right, from here to the bottom, and of course you could say, well, we still have more room to go down, and this was 60% drop, this was 69, so that was pretty gruesome. But when you look at like all the way, that's about an 84%. Even like how I mapped it out, on average, every drop has 83%. Basically what I'm saying is if this was our market peak, if this truly is bull market over, market cycle over, it's new bear market now, if that's truly what that is, we need to drop way more at this point. We need to drop down to like around 18K. We're not at the bottom, if that's the case. Which obviously I'm not in that camp. I don't think that's the case at all. I think Bitcoin still has a lot of gas in the tanks. You know, it depends on like how bearish we're talking about though. That's for sure. I wouldn't say that there are like massive indicators other than what we saw with selling pressure. And then like it basically got to the point where like they wanted to shake out miners too, right? Because it basically got to the point that miners sold their bags around the 42,000. And that's when we saw this like terrible wick here. So they just scared out a bunch of miners, basically, in this area. There wasn't any indicators saying everything was going to go down. Even if you like watched my videos back when we were talking about the 42 zone, I was saying that we were going to jump up. We weren't going to go below the 42. I was like, maybe we'll go down for a little bit, but it'll just wick down and we'll trade up, right? I was in that camp. There was no indicators, and I think there were a lot of people that were caught off guard and didn't actually expect it to go down below the 42. But realistically, when it broke down below that level of support, it now becomes a line of resistance. So we can't look at it as a bullish Bitcoin until we break above that level, right? Yeah, it's hard to say. Were there any indicators, in terms of like media manipulation? I would say the indicators are like Elon Musk's tweet and everything else. And then you look at what Goldman Sachs did, saying that they're declaring that digital assets are an asset class and we need to be investing in them. So there was an obvious different tone from investment firms as the narrative went on and played on about Bitcoin not being energy efficient and all this FUD around Bitcoin, right? So I would say the indicators are more what happened in the news rather than what happened in the charts. Yeah, I was watching some of the Wyckoff distribution. I just need to like read the actual theory behind it to fully grasp exactly like what's going on. But I get it. I totally get it. And I understand like the history behind it. He developed this model to identify exactly what hedge funds and people were doing to manipulate the market. Basically giving this power to the people to understand exactly what they're doing and how to trade in a Wyckoff. So yeah, I would say at this point I wouldn't say that Bitcoin's bottom is 20K. I would say our bottom is probably, and I don't even want to say bottom, but like the lowest will go in the near term in this bearish trend. Jesus, what am I doing? The lowest will go in this bear trend is probably around 27, 28K. That's probably my guess. I could be wrong. If we do, now all bets are off. If we break below, right, and then we stay down here for an extended period of time, all bets are off. We could be down there for a year. Who knows? We could enter another 4-year bear market, right? So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we do just keep trading in our channel. But anything's possible, really. But I think there's way too much buying pressure for Bitcoin to realistically get to down to that level and not be scooped up by investment firms. I can't see that. I think any serious investor would look at a sub 28K Bitcoin as a steal. Yeah, I mean, like, we could always see, so that's another thing, right? If we do see something like a stock crash with Bitcoin, that could also drive the market down, right? We know that there's, a lot of volatile times in the world, so. But that, I think if I'm right, is it the 1987 crash that was due to one guy that had a bot program? I can't remember which one was which. But like I know there's a couple. I think that will. Yeah, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth if I'm not right. I think it was some kid from like Manchester that had like Asperger's syndrome, and he made a trading bot to fight against other trading bots and essentially just nuked the market in a day. But I think that might have been. I might be thinking about a totally different crash. But I've watched a lot of crashes in terms of the stock market. I've watched documentaries on the 1930s. I've watched what happened in 2008, obviously. So there's a lot going on in the scenes, right? If you look at the Dow, I don't have a good chart here, apparently. If you look at the Dow, I don't see this as a healthy market in this economy. I could be wrong. I could be a little bit too bearish on this. But I don't see the Dow Jones continuing this all-time high at the rate that it is good. I don't see this as good, especially if we go through like a parabolic rise, right? We see what's happening with like IPOs and everything else. But I'm not a stock guy. I would probably say that I'm more of a currency guy. I'm more like I would more look at the DXY. I feel more comfortable looking at the dollar. I feel comfortable looking at gold, what these are going to do. And if we do see a dollar collapse, that's going to be a pretty big deal. So we are looking at an uptrend now. We're going to enter. We're going to enter because I think the trend is going up. Hopefully we can win. Hopefully we're not going to lose all of our 0.1. So yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, I think so. What's happened specifically? Oh, they're lowering the hash rates on some cards. Well, I mean, good in a lot of ways. They should just make miner specific cards. I don't know why that isn't a market yet. I think that what needs to happen is that new cards need to be made. I think that's what needs to be happen. Miner specific cards that are made specifically for mining. That way I'm not waiting, months and months and months to get just a GPU, right? How would privacy coins help you avoid taxes in the U.S.? That just sounds, that's borderline. That's definitely just tax evasion. There's no way around it. Yeah, that's absolutely tax evasion. I mean, I listen. I'm nobody's legal advisor. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. But I'd rather pay taxes than go to jail. I'll just say that. I would rather pay taxes than go to jail. So it is what it is. I hear the Cayman Islands are nice this time of year, though. So there is that. That's one thing. If you don't like taxes, move. Go to a jurisdiction that doesn't charge you taxes. Usually the cost of living is way higher, so you bleed it out in one way or another, but it's a different distribution of your tax money, right? It goes to individual businesses that you do business with and everything else. So, Cayman Islands basically has that in terms of you go there, you just pay an excessive amount. You can consider that taxes. So. Privacy coins generally can't be tracked though, which is why. But I would say that's more of an illegal safe haven than anything else. So I wouldn't advise. That is not at all advice. So you can also notice here on Pancake that we have our odds, right? So we have a 0.1 x payout, and then there's a 0.2 x payout on the up. So we had the odds to go basically up rather than down. But here the trend is so volatile in terms of Bitcoin that I'm hesitant to continue going up and following a trend until I know for certain. But it looks like we're pretty safe on this one at least. We're gonna win one, which is nice. Isn't there a company Hive for Python software? I don't know exactly what Hive is doing, but I know they're a mining company. And here's my take. And, it is what it is. I'm not really the best in the stock market part of things, right? I'm more of a crypto guy, maybe gold and everything else. But I wouldn't buy a gold stock, right? I'd buy physical gold, right? I wouldn't buy a Bitcoin mining company because I just want the Bitcoin. If you buy a Bitcoin mining company, you don't only have the liability of Bitcoin going down, but you also have the liability of that company doing something wrong, their stocks going down, right? That's why I don't understand people investing in MicroStrategies. Why? What did MicroStrategies realistically do before buying Bitcoin? It seems like the frenzy over their stock is just because Bitcoin. Just buy Bitcoin. You can put Bitcoin in your IRA if you're in the United States. You can put Bitcoin in your TFSA if you're in Canada, which is what I do. So I just, why buy mining companies? I don't get it. I would say crypto companies are a different deal. If you're buying something like PayPal or Coinbase or some other big crypto company, that is a totally different deal. But why you would buy a mining company or a company just because they hold Bitcoin in their reserves, I'm not quite sure. But again, I'm not, I'm not huge into stocks. Maybe they pay a great dividend. I have no idea. So, But I think we might lose this trend too, actually. Yeah, I mean, like, what did Obama say? Obama literally said what Bitcoin does. Was it Obama? Hold on, I don't know if it was Obama. I think it might have been Obama. Either way, fuck him. Like Obama said that like the problem with Bitcoin is it would basically put a Swiss bank account in everyone's pocket, which isn't the truth at all. At all. I would say like Obama was arguably one of the most like pro banker presidents, regardless of what people thought about him being a far left Democrat. He was far right in terms of the bank. Well, actually, no, he wasn't far. Yeah, he took down a lot of regulations for the banks. Actually, if you think about it, there was a lot of centrist policy that came from Obama in the banking structure. I think a lot of people were left with a very sour taste in their mouth after the 2008 crisis and how that was handled. Hank Paulson basically just being able to print money out of nothing. That's pretty fantastic if you ask me. But hey, yeah, I think that's the way to go. Like, make it mining specific GPUs. That way people can still buy everything that's going on. When do I expect them to go live? It's going to be hard to say, Gary, because we're still waiting on Alonzo. We're still waiting on the updates there. We're still waiting on what's going to happen in terms of, like, the development for Cardano. So a lot of that is going to be pending. But we have the schedule coming, I believe. The schedule is going to be coming out June 1st. It's going to discuss about when we have the staking pool up, when we can start staking. So we'll be able to stake our Cardano and be able to earn Sunday token, which will be useful if you want to provide liquidity between Sunday and ADA on the platform, or Sunday and another token, right? So, yeah, I just don't understand mining stocks. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like buying into a middleman, you know. Yeah, exactly. And you're totally restricted on them, their region. Like if, for example, I would probably not invest in a crypto mining stock that was running in Ontario because our hydro costs are insane. So the profit is less, right? I'd probably say the same with a lot of like high cost energy areas. But you look at like countries like China, they can just keep pumping Bitcoin out the wazoo, coal plants and everything, and basically be spending pennies for it. So really, it's a stark difference. What's happening here compared to what's happening overseas in China, right? Realistically, even if we do have a renewable Bitcoin in North America, what does that stop other countries, right? Is that going to stop Russia and China from burning oil and getting Bitcoin? I believe other countries are doing the exact same too, right? Like that's not just a North American thing. So. And is it bad to burn oil for Bitcoin, right? We talk about the oil sands and all the other areas that are burning excess oil to make Bitcoin. That to me makes sense. Yeah, I have no idea what the actual profit margin will be. And I can assume that would be the case. So you'll have two options, Evan. You'll either be able to buy Sunday token when it comes out, like when the DEX is out, or you can stake for your Sunday token early. So even though you're getting paid less, you're kind of making the bet that it's going to go higher and earn you a better yield anyway. So that's the whole thing there. So you're betting that it's going to have a higher ROI than your actual Cardano that you would earn normally. So I wouldn't say do it with all your Cardano, but it's going to be nice to throw a little bit at least, stake with that, earn a small amount, and then be able to trade with that. Yeah, I don't know what rates Binance gives you, but you can actually stake within the Daedalus wallet and actually like support the system and run a node. I'm sure Binance has a number of nodes that they run privately, so it's probably the same thing. Riot and Mara. I've never heard of those. Are they tokens or? Let's see where we are on the trend. Oh, we did actually win, surprisingly. So we did on our last round. We went in. We saw the candle go down, but it looks like we fought back up near the end. So we did get a little bit of winnings here. So we have $13 so far. So we've made up a little bit. I think we broke even. I think. We'll check. We might be in the positive. So again, I started with 0.1. Just made 2 trades, lost one, won the other. By the end of this, I will be taking. We'll do a little raffle, and I'm going to send the BNB to anyone as long as you have MetaMask, I guess, with the Binance Smart Chain enabled or Binance something that I can send it through the BSC, because I don't want to have to send it to ERC and then send it to you. So please make it that you have the BSC if you do want to win the winnings. So yeah, we basically broke even. We're not going to get into this because we're above the Bollinger Band. We could still go lower on the RSI. So it's probably not the safest way to make a bet, considering that we have a downtrend. So we're going to wait a little bit. But while we wait, we can look at the crypto market. DOT is actually really low. So this is interesting because we saw DOT go up to like our 46 mark, and we fought hard in this channel for DOT for like a while, but here we are now. We're really like it took nothing. It took just a sneeze to shoot DOT down below that area, and now DOT's basically just trading with Bitcoin. But when you see things like Ethereum, right? Ethereum hasn't dropped down its prior like February levels. ADA hasn't dropped down. So that's how I judge basically what's going to be a buy and what's not, right? Now, arguably, I would say buying ADA sub $1.50 is probably a good trade. You're probably not going to go wrong with that. But can Cardano go further? Yeah, I think so. I think you can probably get better buy-ins, but DCA. Oh, okay, they're mining stocks, I see. About Taproot, do you have a link? I can pull it up on stream. I can maybe find it. Hold on. Let's see. BTC smart contracts. Okay. So Taproot is okay. So it's a soft fork coming out for Bitcoin. So it's an update coming onto Bitcoin. So a hard fork is when 2 coins split, right? A soft fork is when there's a change in the code. So for example, Ethereum 2.0 would be a soft fork. Ethereum Classic would be a hard fork. Same thing with Bitcoin Cash is a hard fork, right? So it created a brand new token. Okay, interesting. So bear with me here. What is Taproot and how will it benefit Bitcoin? Too long did not read. Along with Shore signatures, Taproot is a most anticipated technological upgrade for Bitcoin. Okay, so there it is. I am proven wrong. It looks like Bitcoin is going to get smart contracts. It still doesn't change the fact that the TPS is still, where it is. The hash rate has still not been decided on, right? The whole thing about the hash rate is the Bitcoin forked for that. Basically, Bitcoin went to Bitcoin Cash to increase the hash rate because the Bitcoin people didn't want to increase the hash rate. And even Satoshi himself had commented before he made an exit out of the space, commented how he would hope that the community was going to make the right decision and not fork, essentially saying that he was hoping that they were going to change the code for Bitcoin and increase the hash rate, which hasn't done. So does this change anything about what I'm saying in terms of the most elegant store of value, but really can't be the currency? Yeah. But like that, this is super bullish for where Bitcoin's going to go anyway. Still having a smart contract on a store of value is great. You look at how Ethereum is, and Ethereum 2.0 is going to make it more scarce. So it's also going to be a store of value as well. Because I believe, even though Ethereum is, a smart contract platform right now, I believe that Cardano is going to be quicker, Polkadot's going to be quicker, Flare is going to be quicker, right? So there are competitors when you're looking at what's happening. But at the end of the day, that's awesome. It's good to see that Bitcoin is making that leap to get smart contracts. I think that's huge. I had no idea about that. Yo, what's going on, man? Giovanni, how's it going? When is ETH 2.0 expected to happen? God, I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I think there have been delays and delays and delays for ETH 2.0. Yeah, I have no idea. There's no date. I have Ethereum locked up that I have no access to, but I earn on. So, I'm not that upset with it. It can take its time, but yeah, I have no idea when it's going to be coming out. At this point, though, the longer ETH 2.0 takes, the more bullish I get on Cardano and Polkadot. Even though Cardano doesn't have like smart contracts yet, and everything is still a work in progress. So is Polkadot, right? None of these systems are fully done. And there's a lot of delays that are happening with Polkadot. We saw the parachain delays and everything else. So all of that is very, very common in the industry. But I have noticed how much we've been struggling at these levels to break above for the crypto market. Because if you look at the overall crypto market, we're back to where we were back in February. I think we will. I absolutely think we will. And like looking at Ethereum's price, considering what it's done, right? You see the crypto market, right? The total crypto market is back to where it was basically here. We dipped back to February, but you look at where ETH is. ETH really hasn't lost all that much. ETH lost like what, 2 months basically? No, not even, like basically a month of price value is all ETH lost realistically. So it has a lot of gas still in the tanks. That's why I'm saying, like, one, if we did market peak, if that truly was our market peak, we're not bottomed out because we can't be, not at this level. But two, this is more bullish than anything because I see this as there's still plenty of money in the system. There's still plenty of bullish sentiment. There's still plenty of buying pressure for a lot of these coins, especially Ethereum. A lot of the FUD was basically directed at Bitcoin for the most part. But Ethereum is going to eventually make that upswing, right? So, as bullish as I am on Polkadot and everything else, I still think we're going to see high level of Ethereum. So, yeah, man, that's all it is. It's sales season. Just imagine you like all those people that were talking about this because everyone was getting into Bitcoin at around this price and everything else. I was getting text messages about people buying up here. And I always said, buy a little bit. Don't throw a huge amount. Just DCA. Don't put in so much money that if it goes down, you're going to get scared out of the market. That was my best advice. And some people listened to that, which was good. Some people didn't, and it is what it is. But as long as they don't get shooken out, I'm fine with it essentially. Yeah, realistically, like that was not the time to buy. This is the time to buy. You're getting a reset of the market. You're basically getting back. You're not getting back to pre 10K, but you're getting back to January, back this year, right? You're getting those prices. So that's a huge sale that you can get into. And that's not to say that it can't go further down. That's why I say DCA, because we can go sub 32K. It's still very possible. So I'd just be careful. I'm hoping that we can hit a trend here. Hold on. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Because we're at 1 hour and 4 minutes. And I either want to get into a confirmed trade or at least give away 0.1 BNB. So we'll either get into a trade now, but you guys also saw it, so I'm not going to lose money for nothing. I'll just give away the 0.1 BNB that we have, and we'll go there. Okay, Bitcoin's looking good. So we could be going on an uptrend. This is where it gets sketchy, right? Because we're inching into the middle of the RSI. We have no Bollinger Band support, but we did touch the Bollinger Band here on the candle. So we could possibly go up. So it's hard to guess. I'm debating right now. I'm not so confident. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a small amount. Hopefully I win you guys a little bit of money. If you want to win some BNB, so I'm only doing 5%. If you want to win some BNB, 0.1 BNB or less, 0.9 BNB, go ahead and post your Binance Smart Chain enabled wallet in chat, or just say something. Just say something directly. Type "I want to win." Let's do that. I'll put everyone's name into a spreadsheet. We'll do a random number generator. And whoever wins gets what's going on. So. Oh, yeah, it's very, very probable. Very, very probable that we can go further down. Even Cardano, right? Cardano might look like a buy, right? But even looking at Cardano is like holding a good amount of support. We're not getting a huge sale on Cardano, right? Like if you look at it, it's basically lost, what, the start of May, less than a month? Yeah, basically. So... would I be buying Cardano right now? I'd be DCAing Cardano for sure, because I think under $1.50 is going to be a good price. But I wouldn't be like dropping a ton of money until it starts hitting down. Like these wicks, this is where you buy a lot of Cardano. That's $1 ADA. That's huge. So okay, so we got a few. All right, hold on. Let me get the spreadsheet open. We can make a list of everybody. Right. We got Gary, we got Vapor, we got Richard, Redbeard, Jay Waltz, Jay Youngman. If you guys don't have BSC enabled on your MetaMask, don't worry about it. Get onto Binance. If you have Binance account with BSC, just that'll be perfect. I'll contact you like exactly to get that. Again, just type in chat "I want to win" or something so I know to enter you here. So far we have the 7. We have Gary, Vapor, Richard, Redbeard, Jay Walt, Jay Young, and Evan. So if I miss anyone, please let me know. If you want to win it's probably going to be 0.9 BNB. Look at that candle. So oh no, do we have 0.1? No, it's going to be 0.9. We'll make it 0.1. I'll send you 0.1. Don't you worry about it. So, but I do find, like, I found this really good when it's not so volatile. Right now, it's just a bad time because of what Bitcoin's doing, because Bitcoin's sitting at 34.2. I was doing this last night when Bitcoin was more going on the uptrend around like 36. So it's a lot more easy to predict where we were going. So when Bitcoin's being volatile like this, it's a little bit harder. So we have James John. He wants to win. So let's add you to the chart, man. Again, I'll just be doing a random number generator to see who wins. Okay, and Giovanni. All right. Yeah, I absolutely, like, if you have something, I love Binance for that, right? Like, especially when I see the trend changing. So this is a big thing. When I see the trend changing and I'm about to go to sleep, right? Do you think I'm going to miss that dip? Hell no. I'm going to go and put a stop, a buy limit, right? So once it wicks down to that price, it's going to issue a buy as long as there's enough ADA to buy. So I'd highly encourage you learn how to limit buy on Binance if you want to catch those wicks, especially if you're like going to bed. Just use the tricks, the literal tricks that I just showed you at a higher level, right? again, going back to the beginning part of the stream, everything is a cycle from the 5-minute chart to the 1-hour chart to the year chart, right? Everything is going to go ebbs and flows, ups and downs. And if you learned how those trends work, then you can basically predict, okay, is this going to go down, right? Can I put a buy limit down in this level? So I'd probably put a buy limit down at like the $1.30 mark, and then again at the $1.25, maybe $1.10. And then all the way down at $1.01. I probably wouldn't do it $1 because that's like an emotional barrier. So we might bounce back before we hit the $1. It's the same thing with selling too. If you want to put sell orders in, say hypothetically I wanted to put sell orders in and I wanted to sell at $2 ADA, I'd probably just put the sell order at $1.98 because it probably won't hit $2. It'll probably hit $1.98 before it gets rejected, right? So understanding how trends like that works is pretty useful. BTC is dumping. It's dumping a little bit. I wouldn't be overly concerned until Bitcoin goes down below 32. Again, if you want to win, I see a couple more people saying so. If you want to win a little bit of BNB here, 0.1 BNB, go ahead and say I want to win. Make sure you have a wallet that can accept something from the BSC. So Trano, perfect. Okay, so just make sure I have people on this list. I'm gonna zoom in. Just can I zoom in? I'll make this bigger. So I have people on the list right now. Make sure that if you want to win 0.1 BNB here, if you've been watching, make sure you're on this list, please. I'm not saying be concerned. I'm saying it's going to be scary if we stay below 32,000. Like you see here, right? And so this is our line of support, right? To talk about this. We dipped below this when miners sold here, and then we dipped again here, right? We can still make dips like that. I wouldn't be scared at dips, right? But if we start going down and trade under that, that's when I'd be a little bit more freaked out. So right now I'm not freaked out. I'm not scared at all. I think Bitcoin's going to retest this level and basically trade in this channel until finally picking up steam. I think that's most likely what's going to happen. But you know, it could be whatever. Yeah, I'm happy to let people learn. It's a lot easier when you understand the concepts, and especially with TA too. You gotta keep in mind, as much as TA is useful, there's still a lot that goes around in the background, right? Because as much as we all thought that we could be bullish up here, up in this zone, at the end of the day, a good amount of news media, coordination dropped the market down to this level. So it's really hard to look at TA as the end all be all, but it's a good way to estimate exactly where we're going and then dashing in a little bit of human emotion. Again, I'm just going to say this one more time for everybody. If you want to win 0.1 BNB, we lost a little, but don't worry, I'll make it up. If we want to win 0.1 BNB, go ahead and type below something that you want to win, that you want to be entered. I'm going to put the list up right now. We're going to leave it for like 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'm going to do the roll. Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's it. Don't get shooken out. The dumb money gets shooken out, right? But you look at what's happening right now with Goldman Sachs and everyone else. They're buying Bitcoin. So hey, do you want to be the dumb money or do you want to be the smart money? I DCA Bitcoin every day. Bitcoin and Ethereum $1 every single day. Multiple times throughout the day, just to catch the trends through the day. So my whole goal with my DCA, and you can go whatever level you want. You can go DCA like once a week, DCA every day. But what I'll do is I'll basically DCA a couple in the morning, couple in the evening, couple in the afternoon, couple in the middle of the morning, like 2, 3 a.m. That way I'm catching trends, right? I'm not going to be awake for all of it. I don't want to think about it. So that's basically what I do for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything else I do stop buy limits on Binance and go from there. I sometimes buy aggressively on a dip depending on the token, and then there's like sometimes that I'll go ahead and drop a bunch on Polkadot. Okay, I think we've waited long enough. So say I'm gonna give everyone a last minute shot. If you don't see your name up here, go ahead and say so in the chat or forever hold your peace. So again, I'm going to keep that up for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds there. Check your name if you want to win. Okay, so we are going to get the random number generator, and we have 10 people. So let's go from 1 to 10. Make sure that that all lines up. Okay. Good luck, everybody. Check the chat. Okay, we're good. We got 5. Wow, right in the middle, right in the dead center. Who wins? J-Walt wins. J-Walt, buddy, if I don't know how you want to do this. If you want to either we can, DM me on Twitter or something. Give me your BSC wallet. If you feel comfortable, you can post it in chat. I mean, it's not going to do much anyway. But reach out on Twitter or something, or give me something. James, are you in? No. Did you say you wanted to win? Sorry, buddy. Are you? I don't think so. Are you J-Walt? Where's J-Walt? Or is no. You're no. J-Walt wins. J-Walt up there wins. Yeah. Congrats, J-Walt. Congrats, buddy. Yeah. So just either you can get me on Twitter, or you can drop your BSC wallet right down in chat if you want. And then I'll send you a 0.1 BNB over here. Sorry, James. You're trolling a little bit. You're trying to catch me. DM me. Okay, perfect. As long as you have my Twitter, Haas Hodls, that's it. We'll just go over crypto before ending the stream. Obviously, we are going down, and again, I wouldn't be too freaked out until we trade under the 32. If we dip below the 32, just look at it as a buying opportunity. If Bitcoin does dip today to the 32 mark, we could see a flash sale on things like Cardano, on things like Ethereum. So be ready if you do have some fiat on the sidelines, because you could catch some good prices here. You already see Cardano going down right now, so maybe set in a couple of buy orders for maybe $1.10, $1.15, because we'll probably see those levels. Will we see like all the way down for Cardano? Because if you look at here, the dips have gotten a little bit less. We could probably say that Cardano will probably like maybe reach down. $1.10 is probably like the lowest it would go, I think. So maybe $1.15 is probably a good price, a good buy order to buy for Cardano before it pumps back up. But that's it, guys. James, don't you worry. We'll be doing tons of this kind of betting giveaways in the future, especially with more dexes that come out. So we'll absolutely be doing this again. All right, everyone, that's it for me. Go ahead and like the stream. Really appreciate everyone stopping in, and have a good afternoon. Don't be scared about this market. All right, see you guys.